Greetings everyone, this is Tony Holowitz, and in this tutorial I want to talk to you about a couple checkboxes that I put in my ACT layout. Now what we're looking at right now is just a blank contact because the contact information isn't relevant to this video. But I do want to draw your attention to two checkboxes I have right here. One's called 2025 Opened and one is called AMA Open 2024. AMA is short for ACT Marketing Automation, which is ACT's built-in email marketing tool. So let me create a scenario for you. I have always been a believer that one of the most important things I can get from my ACT database is understanding whether or not I'm in touch with my contacts. In other words, do the contacts in my database know I exist? Now obviously I can meet with them in person, I can call them, but those things are time consuming. But the other thing I can do is I can send them an email using the marketing automation tool. So this is a scenario. Let's say I have 1,000 contacts in my ACT database and I want to send them all an email. Once that email goes out, designing it in the marketing automation tool, after it goes out, I can actually find all the contacts in the database that open the email. To put it on a broader scope, let's assume that during the course of the year in 2025, I'm continuously sending out emails through the course of the year. Well, one of the things I want to know is, frankly, do people know I exist? If someone has a question about ACT software, will I be the person they remember? So my goal is to keep my name in front of them. I send different kinds of emails. Some of them are educational. Some of them are just a brief question. So on that note, let's say I send out 1,000 emails today. Well, typically what I'll do is within a couple days, I will come in and I'll create a group in ACT and I'll automate that group to say, listen, if a person has opened my email in the year 2025, I want to automatically have all those contacts go into a group. So now this is something ACT does behind the scenes. It finds all the contacts that opened my email and will put them in a group. Then I'll do a lookup of all those contacts, and then I'll come up and go Edit, Replace Field, and I'll replace this field with a checkbox, or a check mark, I should say. What it really means is I mark it as true. So let me back up a second and repeat that. I have a group that puts all the people that have opened my email in 2025 in a group. I do a lookup, and I go in and I manually check this off for all those contacts. Whether there's 1 or 300 or 500, I can do it all in one fell swoop. Now, why to me is that important? Well, try to imagine you come in and you look at a contact and you see that they opened your email in 2025. All that does is it visually tells me they know I exist. Now, they might have opened it and not really read it. That's okay, because I do other things to keep my name in front of them. But the real key here is, at a glance, I want to know, to the best of my ability, whether they know I'm here. And if they don't know I'm here, what I might do is turn around and say, you know what? I'm going to pick up the phone and call them, or I'm going to email them. On a further note, when you have people that have opened your emails, let's say this is all blank, when I look at this information and I see that, I can take it a step further, and if I've over time been sending them emails, I can click on the campaign results email, and if I send them a number of emails, I can see what they've looked at, what links they might have clicked on, and I can get a sense of how often they look at my email. So this tool, the ACT Marketing Automation tool, is underrated because of the idea that, in my opinion, it tells me a story. It tells me a story about each and every contact. And because these checkboxes are used this way, then I can turn around and say, well, wait a minute. Let me find all the contacts that have not opened my email. And I can actually group them together really easily. Another point is I can find over time all the people that have opened my email in 2025 in which the checkbox is blank. And I can have all those go into a group so I can find them, go get them, and then mark this as checked. So there's a lot of things you can do here with ACT Marketing Automation, and I think it's a very underrated tool. And if you learn a little bit more how to work with this, I think it can give you a sense of what's going on in your ACT database. Sort of, I look at it as all these contacts you're trying to communicate with. How do you stay in touch with them and how do you understand? So year by year, I constantly look at this. And again, I will make decisions on how I want to reach people, react to them based on some of this simple information. So Act Marketing Automation to me is a great tool that's often overlooked by a lot of Act users. And I think it's amazing if you utilize it properly. And in the next tutorial, I'm going to talk about two types of emails I send, a simple email and more of an educational email. And I'll talk about that in more detail. Okay, my friends, you have a great day. Be well. Bye now.